This is 5 on 20 news with myself, Tammy King. And I'm coming to you live from the studio in downtown Tucson. It is February 20th. First in local headlines. The University of Arizona ranked near the bottom of the list of safest colleges in the country, according to the study by the National Council for Home Safety and Security. The U of A ranked 233 out of 243 universities analyzed in the report, with Brigham Young University ranking first. The University of New Mexico Albuquerque ranked last. Northern Arizona University led the list among Arizona colleges, landing at 156, with ASU coming in at 187. The report was compiled by comparing crime reports for each university. The U of A police chief refused to comment on the list, but says that he disagrees with the findings. A 2017 U of A campus safety report showed no significant increases in crime on the U of A campus. The study was carried out by alarm installers and contractors who make up the membership of the Council for Home Safety and Security. U of A officials accuse the group of represents big alarm installing and doesn't speak for the people. Home prices in Tucson continue to grow into 2018, according to the report by the Tucson Association of Realtors, or the TAR. It found that the median home price in Tucson grew from about $200,000, the highest it's been since the 2008 housing bubble. Ginny Hoffman, president of the TAR, said that the average home is on the market for only 49 days and are moving quickly. However, she says that the growth is more susceptible than they were in 2008. Despite the price increases, home prices still remain 11% lower than during the housing bubble. Hoffman hopes that homeowners who have had trouble selling will be able to free up homes in high-demand parts of the city. To encourage this, Hoffman has been sitting in a lawn chair outside these homes and blaring the air horn for hours at a time. The city of Tucson is considering to reduce water costs in order to incentivize businesses to relocate to Tucson. The water incentive program would provide infrastructure to deliver water to businesses located along I-10 and south of the airport that currently lack pipelines. Tucson Water spokesman Fernando Molina said that the city is focusing on attracting light industry, manufacturing, and logistics industries. In order to qualify for the program, businesses have to commit to certain investments in facilities and meet wage and benefit requirements for the employees. They also would need to demonstrate green building practices that result in energy and water sustainability. City Councilman Paul Cunningham said that the plan would prevent Maricopa County from stealing jobs from Tucson, and that it will result in more high-paying jobs coming to our community. The project would cost $2.5 million a year, but Molina says it won't affect customers of Tucson Water. He said that these funds were already allocated for capital projects. The incentive now awaits approval from the City Council, who were busy hoarding water to get ready for the waterless, Mad Max-like future. The Tucson-based group Catalina Sky Survey recently discovered a rare asteroid that came within 40,000 miles of Earth. Paul Chodas, manager of NASA's Center of Near-Earth Object Studies, said that these objects only came that close only once or twice per year. The asteroid, named 2018 CB, was between 50 and 130 feet and moved at 26,000 miles per hour. Since the funding in 1995, Catalina Sky Survey has recorded over 8,000 near-Earth objects, including 169 this year. The group is best known for one of their observers, Richard Kowalski, who found the first asteroid in history detected before it hit Earth. Kowalski found the asteroid 20 hours before it exploded in the atmosphere above the Sudan. Scientists were later able to find fragments of the asteroid. Instead of the asteroid giving the scientists superpowers, it ended up with them being imprisoned in Sudan. The Hopi Indian tribe of Arizona is suing the Snowball ski resort in Flagstaff over allegations that the resort contaminated tribal lands by using treated sewage to make snow. The resort admits to using treated sewage, which is why they warn skiers not to drink the water used in making snow. But state regulations allow the use of treated sewage for irrigating crops and watering parks. The treated sewage has been found to contain trace amounts of substances such as Prozac, DEET, and ibuprofen. The tribe alleges that their land is being contaminated by snow that blows and seeps into the surrounding forest as it melts. The snowball is currently considered public land and is in control of the federal government. J.R. Murray, the Snowball's general manager, says that he doesn't question tribal beliefs or culture, but that the park's been public land since 1938. The Hopi tribe has launched numerous lawsuits against the Snowball Bowl over the years to get them to stop making snow, but county and federal judges have decided against the tribe each time, having called their lawsuits unnatural. Phoenix-based libertarian activist Van Gutierrez launched a recall campaign against Arizona Senator McCain. Gutierrez, who listed his education as wall building at Trump University on his Facebook, claims that McCain has been absent from his job because he hasn't been returning phone calls or emails. The petition for recall also states that he has a serious illness and may be incapacitated from doing his duties to citizens of Arizona. Despite the effort, federal law does not allow senators or representatives to be recalled. Arizona Attorney General Mark Brnovich is supposed to make a ruling on this issue, since Arizona law does allow recall elections to take place, even though it likely wouldn't count. On Thursday morning, Gutierrez said that the Attorney General's office announced that they would allow the petition to move forward, though this hasn't been confirmed. Even if the petition goes through, Gutierrez would need over 630,000 signatures by June 13th in order to pass. The number represents 25% of the ballots cast in Arizona's last Senate election. It also represents a percentage of brain activity used by Van Gutierrez on any given day. Arizona Representative Kelly Butler introduced a bill that would tattoo and piercing parlors to get health certificates. House Bill 2442 would require all body art businesses to follow sanitation guidelines, require annual bloodborne pathogen training, and would allow local health departments to inspect businesses and investigate complaints. Arizona lacks any regulation on the body art industry, despite dozens of states in the U.S. having regulations in place. The only regulations in place are the state requires tattoo artists to have sterilized needles and prohibit minors from getting tattoos without parental consent. Butler said that to find out there are no regulations on the tattoo and body industry is just shocking. Coconino County is the only Arizona county to regulate the tattoo industry, according to the Arizona Department of Health Services. The county requires that all body art operators to register their business and to participate in an annual training course of blood-borne pathogens. Previous bills to regulate the body art industry have failed, mostly because Arizona is known for its low level of business regulation. Bill Johnson, vice president of the National Tattoo Association, said he's in favor of regulation, which he said are necessary for health of the customers and for the benefit of the clientele. Representative Butler says she'll investigate herself by getting a spiderweb face tattoo. So, new in national and international news. Students at Parkland, Florida school, where 17 people were killed last week, organized a rally on Saturday calling for increased gun restrictions in the U.S. Meanwhile, attendees at the nearby gun show claimed that firearms weren't to blame for the attack. Emma Gonzalez, an 18-year-old student at the school, criticized the president for signing a law that overturned a measure that made it more difficult to buy guns for buyers with a history of mental illness. She also criticized the National Rifle Association, who opposes gun restrictions. The shooter, Nicholas Cruz, legally purchased an AR-15 style assault rifle and multiple magazines of ammunition. Another student, Ryan Deitch, said that the least lawmakers can do is vote on something. What's the worst that can happen? About 40 miles away from the rally, Dade County Fairgrounds held their annual gun show despite calls for the show to be canceled. Jorge Fernandez, the show manager, said that they decided not to cancel over financial concerns. On Sunday, a group of students at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School, where the shooting took place, vowed not to return to class until the lawmakers passed new gun restrictions. Among those were Emma Gonzalez and David Hogg, the high school reporter, who was reportedly featured on cable news following the shooting. They're also planning March for Our Lives on March 24th and will take part in a national walkout being organized for March 14th and April 20th. One of the students, Cameron Caskey, said that my message for people in office is either you're with us or you're against us. We are losing lives while the adults are playing around. In related news, the president played around golf on the golf course Monday afternoon, 40 miles away from the protest. Meanwhile, Washington, D.C. students held a lie-in protest on the outside of the White House on Monday. The ground laid down on the ground. They laid down on the ground for 3 minutes at a time to represent the short amount of time that it took shooter Nicholas Cruz to kill 17 students last week. The event was organized by a Facebook group that was called Teens for Gun Reform. The statement from the group on their Facebook page read, "By doing this, we will make a statement on the atrocities which have been committed due to the lack of gun control and send a powerful message to our government that they must act now." In response, the Trump administration said, "Oh, now you need us," then sent the teens to their room without dinner. House Republicans are looking to cut spending on entitlement programs such as Medicare and Social Security in an upcoming budget resolution. Last week, the government agreed to a short-term spending deal that paved the way for a long-term agreement to take place. Representative Steve Womack, chair of the House Budget Committee, said he wants to put America on a different glide path from a fiscal perspective. He said this involved focusing on cutting entitlement programs, which were ignored in the newly passed budget deal signed into law last Friday. Womack said that 78% of what the U.S. spends is on autopilot, and that's irresponsible to use taxpayer dollars this way. However, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell has said that the entitlement reform is a non-starter in the Senate, where Republicans have a smaller majority. Also, Republicans fear that the budget-cutting message won't play well after they just passed a tax cut bill that will increase federal debt levels by $1.5 trillion. Despite the call for cuts, Womack says that those currently benefiting from entitlements will not have to worry. He said that we have to be careful not to jerk the rag out from underneath the people that are currently receiving those benefits and nearing retirements and have planned their lives around them. Democrats have said that the only entitlement cuts that they're open to are efforts to lower the price for prescription medications. Congress scheduled this debate to coincide with the 15th government shutdown sometime around June. I need to have a second here. My nose is running. The immigrants' rights group, Grassroots Leadership, alleges that a woman was held in solitary confinement after she refused to withdraw a complaint that she was sexually assaulted by a detention center guard. Last week, about 50 people protested outside the Hodo Detention Center in Texas in support of Laura Monterosa. The group says that the staff, the privately run facility, locked up Monterosa in retribution for her allegations of harassment and sexual assault. These allegations are now being investigated by the FBI. Monterosa was kept in solitary confinement for about 60 hours, according to Grassroots Leadership. They say that the staff pressured her to write a letter recanting her testimony. ICE has denied these allegations and said that Monterosa was kept in solitary because of a self-reported medical situation. They also said that Monterosa returned to the general population last Monday and was offered to be transferred to another facility, but she declined the offer. Monterosa says that she fled El Salvador for her safety after suffering sexual and physical abuse by relatives. She has been in detention for over 8 months and is appealing the denial of her asylum claim. She reportedly tried to kill herself in January. In a statement, Monterosa said that, "I feel very desperate because I tried to report the abuse from ICE and the facility officials, but they continue to psychologically abuse me through intimidation. I do not feel safe or secure. I am not receiving the medical treatment or the help I need." ICE officials said that they simply thought that Monterosa needed some time alone with her thoughts. A bipartisan group of New York lawmakers are calling for the withdrawal of Trump proposal that could affect 9/11 responders' health care. New York Representatives Peter King, Jerry Nadler, and Carolyn Maloney are calling for the White House Budget Director Mick Mulvaney to scrap a proposal that would realign the World Trade Center health program. The program is currently under the authority of the Center for Disease Control, but the proposal would move it to the National Institute of Health, or the NIH. The lawmakers say that the program already has expertise within the CDC, which could be lost if the program has to move agencies. They say that the budget proposal was made with no input from the 911 healthcare community and could negatively affect the progress of service delivery. According to official sources, the president included the cuts in his budget proposal to see if he could get away with screwing over 9/11 too. Next month, the president plans to go out on the street and shoot some guy. Well, this is 5 on 20 News with me, Tammy King. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe our YouTube account, and don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for all creative Tucson news and content. You can also feel free to get in touch with us at info@creativetucson.org. Thanks for watching. Stay creative, Tucson.